Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to touch on a very important subject in sales that doesn't get a lot of attention, and it's this idea of building sales momentum. Now, the thing about, of course, sales as a coach is the conversion, right? It's like, hey, our business needs cash flow to survive. Our business needs clients to grow. So that's just a matter of fact. Now, the more you get into sales, the more you get into like this side of things, the more comfortable you will be with asking for money or raising your prices or anything around sales, business, and money. Because I'll be honest with you, sometimes for coaches, they are so much, we're all about impact that in the beginning, when we haven't had a lot of experience with sales, we feel kind of weird asking for money or talking about money. So, because of that, through my journey here over the last 10 years, I realized, okay, um, how can I still look for the victories or how can I still look for the progress whenever I don't collect the cash, right? Because again, otherwise it would just be about the transaction and that's not who we are. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a second. Okay, so I wanted to introduce you to this concept of sales momentum, and it's very straightforward. So what is it? So sales momentum is a term that I use to describe the progress that you can make in a sales conversation. So especially this is important when a potential client doesn't enroll right away. So why is it important? Well, it helps you remember that it's not always about the transaction, right? It's about the impact. And look, sometimes what happens is that it's just best to move a deal forward versus getting into this weird place of like feeling awkward or they're not moving forward and you don't want to be pushy, you don't want to be salesy, you don't want to do some of those things. So this is what you want to focus on instead is, okay, how can I at least just move this forward? Okay. And sometimes what happens too, there's certain coaches and styles of coaching where like they'll try to reframe the client so much that at some point it just becomes annoying, right? From the client's perspective, it's like they can tell you're trying so hard to like reframe them and get them to think differently. So again, sometimes it's best to not burn that bridge and not try too hard to reframe and change their psychology and all these different things to just be like, okay, cool. Like this person, we tried the process, we went through everything, and for one reason or another, it just doesn't make sense for them. All right, fine, right? That's fine. Let's just move the deal forward. So what does that look like? Because again, in those situations when you're not able to enroll, where you're not able to get the commitment or the cash or the credit card, it's very easy to then be like, oh, that sucked, or that was a waste of time, or I don't get it. Like, it's very easy to get annoyed. So here's how it works. So of course, it all starts with the end in mind, right? What is this all about? Well, look, the best case scenario is pretty straightforward. Someone comes in, they pay in full, and it only takes 30 to 45 minutes. There's little to no objections. Again, this is the best case scenario when it comes to building that sales momentum. But what happens if that doesn't happen? Do we beat ourselves up? No, we look at, okay, what else can we celebrate? Maybe you got a payment in full and it took a little bit longer, but that's fine, right? Like you still were able to help them, your business is still able to grow. All that stuff is still true. The next level down is, okay, hey, maybe it took a bit, but at the very least you were able to still enroll them. There was still like a payment plan that they got on, they're going to get the transformation, your business is still able to grow, and you're able to celebrate that as a win, right? Now, here's the last bit in terms of like actual cash collected or transactions, right? So notice how there's distinctions between these. And so sometimes all somebody needs is to just make that tiny decision to move forward. And what that looks like is for them to do a deposit, for them to be like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm not quite ready financially, or you know what? I need to talk to my spouse, or you know what? I need to make time on my calendar. Yeah, that's fine. No worries at all. Let's put all of that aside. How do you feel? Right? If they feel good, if they see, feel, and know that you can help them, and if they trust that because you've gone through the pitch, because you've gone through all that, okay, then the next logical step is take all the time you need, right? What we would recommend is let's go ahead and move forward with a deposit because I will bonus you this, this, and that. Maybe it's a one-to-one session, or maybe it's some goodies, but obviously make it make sense for them, right? And then the next piece here is this one, which a lot of the times people forget. So this one right here, we're looking at, okay, hey, they weren't able to move forward. They're not able to do a deposit, they're not able to do all those things. That's fine, no problem. But what they are able to do though is look at their calendar, right? Like, hey, fair enough, right? Let's say they're just not able to do it. You say no problem at all. What I like to do at this point of the conversation is just look at the calendar and set something on there. So that way we're very clear on the next steps. And so this is where you guys both literally pull out your calendars and say, okay, cool. So today's, the 30th or whatever day it is. And then you would ask, would the fifth be too soon, right? Would the second be too soon? Whatever. Just put something out there. They're going to reject it or they're going to accept it, but at least you're moving the deal forward. Okay. So this is the last and final thing that you should always do to be able to move the deal forward, salvage the conversation, because what you never, never, never want to do is just say, yeah, that's fine. You can get back to me. Yeah, that's fine. You can email me. You can text me. Because let's be honest, life happens. They may forget, they may whatever, right? But by saying, yeah, let's get something on the calendar, that's the one of the last and final things you can do. So the other piece, which is a bit of a bonus, is for instance, if they're seriously like, honestly, you know what? I think this is great, but honestly, like it doesn't make sense to put anything on the calendar, like not even for a month from now or 2 months from now. You go, yeah, no problem at all. Let's just leave it at that. No worries at all. But again, this is more of a bonus because you don't want to do this one that much because again, we want to focus on them, right? This is focusing on other people, people they may know, people in their network, and it's going for the referral. But see, notice, right? Like this is being very strategic. This is not giving up easily. This is being a coach, a leader where you know you're having a conversation with them and it's not about the sale. It's not about pushing them. It's about you stepping up as a leader to create space for them to have clarity and have confidence and conviction in themselves and you that they can get the result that they ultimately want. So we have a process in place. We have intention set. We're here to serve. We're here to impact but also we're here to not just give up so easily because we have several scenarios we can aim for, including if they straight up say, which is very rare, if somebody straight up says, you know what, Luis, this has been amazing, man, but honestly, it's not what I'm looking for at all. You don't just give up, right? Or you can, but all you have to do at that point is just say, yeah, no problem, Jenny. I appreciate that. By the way, I appreciate the honesty. Can I ask you one final question? They're gonna say yes. You say, yeah, Jenny, so listen, from what you understand, what I'm looking for here is, for example, for me, a coach who has an online business. They do high ticket sales, either themselves or their team does, and they know that there's room for growth on the sales side. So do you happen to know one other person that I can talk to, just to see if I can help? They may say no. They may say, let me get back to you. They may say all these things. What matters though is that you put it out there and you're showing to yourself the level of leadership you can bring to a conversation because you're not the type of coach who's going to just give up easily or just move on or just get frustrated or just get annoyed. You're here for solutions for yourself, right? In terms of, hey, maybe we can just get something on the calendar. That's a solution. Or hey, maybe we can get a referral. That's a solution-oriented approach but also you're here for them. You're here to help them. And by the way, maybe you have a referral bonus, right? Maybe you say, yeah, because for every person you can recommend, I can give you $1,000 or 10%, or I don't know, right? You can get creative. But it's always, what are we doing? How can we make the most of this conversation? So it's looking at how do we build sales momentum?